Hello, everybody. How you doing? And welcome to the first weekly Q&A session for the Big Notes Get Votes community. So Big Notes Get Votes is a online community of singers and singing enthusiasts. And I wanted to open up this our online forum to kind of be have a weekly opportunity to actually to chat about singing. And I wanted to tackle some topics this week, this whole month, every week. At the moment, we are doing a September Singers Challenge, which involves 30 days of applying, a daily tip or a daily activity to your day to basically nurture your singing. So I thought maybe I would talk this week about the first 7 days, because we're at day 7 right now, and also what an ideal singer's schedule would look like, and also a topic that's kind of been brought to my attention recently, which is I guess called raising your internal bar for yourself and defining why you would even want to implement a daily nurturing plan for your voice. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Cherie Matheson. I'm a professional singer and a vocal coach as well. I also jump off stage and also do some creative production, which is a bit of fun. If you have any questions, just jump on in. Hi, Jamie. Oh, this is kind of cool. So I was just doing a big intro, Jamie, about what I want to do, why I want to have this online kind of weekly Q&A session, and the fact that this is basically an opportunity to chat about, get my 10 cents on what helps me stay focused, raise my internal bar as a singer, and why I would even do that, like why we even bother to focus on our singing or nurturing our voice daily, what the motivation for that is. So if you want to chat or type anything, you can type it in, and I think you can even join in with a chat. One of my other Q&As that I had, I think it was last week, was actually really fun. We ended up having a live chat so I could see her, and we just back and forth a little bit. And of course, as I mentioned to you, Jamie, this is all recorded and then it uploads instantly to YouTube, which is really groovy. If you're watching as a replay, you will also be able to ask questions, and those questions will be emailed to me. They'll be emailed to me and I can answer them. So if you have any questions or you want to add any comments, typing them will jump them up on my screen and I can type to you as well. So I'll do a little test type. Hey there, lovelies. And hopefully you see that come up. Okay, so I'll get straight into what I wanted to chat about today. I'm a little unwell at the moment. I have been. I think it's called like the 90-day cough, which is just horrific. And it doesn't make it easy as a singer because, it's hard to perform. I've managed to do 1-2 gigs and a session sick like this. Luckily, my throat doesn't hurt, or else I wouldn't sing at all. I had to cancel 1 gig, and that's massive because like in 20 years of singing, I think I cancelled about 4 gigs because of being sick. Or I'm wondering if there is something kind of weird going on in our environment, whether it's contributing factors like the cold lasting longer or strange business. But anyway, I think what I'm finding is that, hey Jamie, is that you when you really apply good singing technique, you can sing through any kind of flus or colds as long as you're feeling okay. It's not as enjoyable as it usually is, obviously. And also you lose a lot of your control. Jamie, look, jump in if you have any questions or anything. I'm just going to rant because, I'm good at that. Okay, so one of the things that I've been thinking more and more about and trying to carve out and design for myself a day or a template, I guess, of how to nurture myself vocally every single day. Now, it's a full-time job. Yeah, right. Lots of people get in the 90-day cough. Oh, it's terrible, man. Have you been sick, Jamie? Are you all right? Have you had a flu or anything? You could type that in. I hope you're okay. In an ideal world, because I'm not 20 anymore. So my goals when I was 20 was, to be Whitney Houston. And at that point in my life, I wanted to be a pop star, but all I wanted to do was drink and be a crazy person. So you've got that complete switch. It's very rare that you have the Beyoncés of the world who are really driven and start at 8 and kind of go, go, go. And so you get a little older, and luckily I have been professional for a long time, but it's only now that I'm sort of thinking, or in the last 4 years, that I've been really thinking seriously about, oh, good, I'm pleased you're great. And you're managing the technology too, which is pretty cool. Jamie's just messaged that he's great. I have to remember to read out rather than just reply to it. So yeah, when you get older and you start to figure out that, you need to look after yourself more or be more precise about what you're doing vocally. You start to explore more options, and I have been exploring. I just tried to devour everything, and I'm trying to continue exploring. I read a really cool, I'm reading a cool book by Tim Ferriss, who's like a productivity guru, and he opens the book with this line: I'm not an expert, I'm an explorer, and I'm a guide. And that's kind of how I feel about this whole singing journey. It's so personal anyway that we can all apply and share our tips, but how you feel about yourself, the confidence that you have, and I was talking about raising your internal bar, that kind of is what you start to define as you get older. And then once you've done that, you're like, yeah, okay, right. So what are the actual physical steps that I could do to put into place to, nurture my voice? So if we take one step back for a second before I get into the 30-day challenge and talk about the actual physical acts, this really great concept that I'm wrapping my head around, and I have been for about, again, 4 years, is this idea of raising your internal bar or embracing your uniqueness as a vocalist. I think that's the first battle, is like getting your head straight, getting your confidence right, and realizing that there is absolutely nobody like you out there, and that's the beauty of things. So, we sometimes get caught up in the whole, oh, I can't sing like that, and I can't do this, and it kind of can weigh on you. So rather than thinking about the good that you're doing and working your strengths, you end up thinking about what you're not doing. So part of this challenge is a day-to-day opportunity to remind me that I'm doing or to actually do everything I can do to nurture my voice. Especially with all these illnesses that are going around, and I see Jamie said he's had a few shows earlier this year with mucus. Yeah, I've had the most awesome experiences with snot in these last 2 days. I've become a real fan of nasal irrigation recently. If you've never seen it, I have a YouTube channel called Big Notes Get Votes, and I do a live, pre-recorded, but a demonstration of a nasal irrigation, which is basically warm saline water, and you squirt it in a bottle up, and it kind of comes up one nose and out the other nostril, and then you do it on the other side, and you do about 120 mils each side. Usually it's really, really easy and it feels wonderful. It basically clears any gunk. If you've got any dust particles, or you're particularly susceptible to sinus issues, which I am, it can be really helpful. There's always people who, and there always will be, the two sides of the coin that say, you know, it's not a great idea to flush out that natural, the natural bacteria or the bits and pieces that are in there to protect our nasal passage. But it really works well for me. So if you want to find out more about nasal irrigation in depth, grab a tissue. It's so classy. Look at me. Oh. You can look it up online. There's tons of YouTube clips, but you can see me do it anyway. That's a kind of a. I don't think. I mean, I recommend it to my students if I feel that they will benefit from it, but it's not something that I've put on the 30-day challenge because yeah, it's an acquired taste. Oh my God, that's so good. Am I reading this right? If we've got the stomach, snort it back and spit it. Now, Jamie, who's here chatting with me, is an amazing singer, and he has one of those really cool massive ranges, high mix ability, so he's really strong in his falsetto and his the upper end of his register. So it's cool having a guy and B another singer, say someone I know and respect who's amazing, to throw some ideas around. And I know that Jamie has also had, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jamie, to everybody, but you know, had he's been through a little bit of a journey with his voice as well and discovering his voice and doing things. And so, and I have another friend who's had some similar, another singer friend, and I've actually asked her to write a post, a guest blog post about her experience. Her experience with, she actually had vocal surgery, but you didn't have vocal surgery, did you, Jamie? You just recovered okay with some voice rehab. Am I right? You can tell me if I'm right. You guys should hopefully be able to see the comments that Jamie's putting out. And so I love to hear what other singers are going through as well. So on the Big Notes Get Votes blog, I'm going to get some guests. And Jamie, if you wanna do a guest post on your experience of rehabbing your voice and stuff, that would be amazing. The reason I wanted to start doing this whole Big Notes Get Votes forum is just that as singers, we just don't even is that no, you didn't have surgery, or no, you don't want to do a guest blog? Oh, okay. See, now this is something really fascinating, and this is stuff we don't talk about as well too. About in my online course, I have an online course called the Sing Smarter Starter, and in week 3 of the course, we talk about cherishing and cultivating our voices, and an element of that goes into prescription drugs that can affect your voice. And I have a link. I should really get the link. I wonder if I can do it while we're talking, because I can share my screen with you guys so you can see what it is. But there's a link to a sort of an online medication generator, and it shows all the effects that these different prescription medications and herbal prescriptions, so herbal remedies, have on your voice, because we don't often, you know, associate prescription medications with the effect, you know, we don't associate the side effects with affecting us vocally, because, you know, most people take speaking for granted as it is. And so when you're a professional singer, I mean, I know it should be at the forefront of our mind to go, is this going to affect my singing? But you're usually in such a bind, you're sick or whatever, and you just want help. And so you take the drugs that you're given, when we probably should be going to our doctors or, you know, seeing a specialist otolaryngologist or an ENT specialist, and having a bit more of a relationship with them in relation to our needs, and have them kind of link in with the fact that we use our voices for our jobs. That's how we, make our money. And I'm not 100% sure how many singing voice ENT specialists there are in New Zealand. I mean, I know there are lots in the bigger cities like New York and definitely in London, but I haven't encountered one. So if you have one, Jamie, who's a singing voice specialist, like an ENT guy, please share his name with us, because it's good to know. But yes, please, I'll get in touch with you about posting about that, because that is on the, I have an awareness of it, of this prescription drug effect on our bodies. I even just recently, this is completely off topic, saw some stuff about how topical steroid cream you can be allergic to it. So there's all sorts of stuff. I also try to be, again, this is slightly off topic, but try to be completely natural, because I had a really severe allergic reaction to a hair dye about 10 years ago, maybe, I think it was, maybe a little bit less, and I had to rethink everything. Stop it. You know what? Sorry, I'm just reading Jamie's notes, and now I have heard of David Vokes, actually, because I am looking for an ENT to go and have a checkup with, and it's just a warrant of fitness for my voice, which I think we should as singers do all the time. Now I know it's hugely costly to have these checkups, but once a year or once every 18 months to 2 years, you're good. And so David Vokes, this is good, and I'll talk to my friend Ellen about it as well. I can't remember who she went to, but she did talk to me about it. But yeah, talking about the natural remedies, right? So the I changed everything in my household. So I make all my own cleaning products now. The only chemicals I have probably is hairspray and perfume, because I haven't quite figured out how to get around the particular smell I like. But I try not to spray it on my skin. I'll spray it, on my clothing or whatever. And the hairspray, I just try and minimize the use of it. But I would say 80 to 90% chemical free for my house. And that's made a difference. I had some guys come in to clean my house recently, and they were meant to be eco cleaners, and they used chemicals, and I could smell it instantly and felt sick. So we have to think about all these things that, that can affect us. Makeup as well for girls and guys can be problematic. And so I've slowly been finding all natural makeup, so that I'm not having these sort of these chemicals. And I guess it's the same, my point is it's the same as these, as your medication, your topical, excuse me, your topical creams and lotions and potions all have an impact on your voice. So I guess the best we can do is, day to day, just try and get a handle on it. In an ideal world, and I'm not even sure if Beyonce does this, because you know what? No one talks about what I call a singer's schedule, or their pre-gig rituals, or, and when I say nobody, I'm talking about the Beyoncés and the Gagas and all these people. No one talks about it. You might see it behind the scenes, and you'll see them doing some sirens, to warm up their voice, and then it'll cut away. Now, it is kind of boring to watch someone do a 25-minute warm-up, yes, but there must be some kind of way of outlining it in text. And what do you do for your warm-up, Jamie? Can you share a little bit about your pre-gig rituals, if it's not too much? I love asking people that question, other singers, especially singers who are working regularly. And Jamie and his band are super, super in demand. So he's really busy. So I guess, in an ideal world, I would wake up at a time that works. I mean, I'm not even too fussed about setting a particular time of day. It's got to be it has to be kind of like chunks that I can implement. There certainly needs to be an element of, well, it needs to start off, the night needs to start off with some good sleep. So at the moment, one of the challenge things that I'm trying is to get 7 hours sleep a night. Now I'm terrible. I can exist on like 5 hours. So it has been a challenge because, we're a muso. I'm a muso, we're night owls. So that would be the first thing. The second thing would be, when you wake up in the morning, if you are about to have if you shower straight up after getting out of bed, to do a vocal warm-up in the shower. And I have just my vocal warm-up, which is, the basic one is 12 minutes long, 15 to 25 if I do a slightly extended one. And I will do that just kind of to wake up my voice. The other thing that's really good is to incorporate some top to toe stretching so that you can engage all the bigger muscle groups to assist in the process of singing. The vocal folds are the size of your thumbnail, well, your fingernail, and so they're so tiny, right? And you just need to, use the bigger muscle groups for support, and you might have heard it referred to as anchoring. You can use your lats, and you can even anchor with your neck and your shoulders. And it's not about tensing, it's about making sure that everything's in the right place. It's good to check your posture and do a nice alignment. If you're into meditation, incorporate that in your day. 100% fan of steaming topically. So I've got my steamer. Always got my steamer. That's a garment steamer. But the story behind that is that I researched all these steamers and looked to bring some in from the States. And as I was researching it, my garment steamer broke. And so I looked for a new one, and I saw that one, and I was like, hang on, that's like exactly the same shape, and the steam is good. It's about mouth level. And so I thought I'd buy it and try it, and it's actually worked really well to as a double duty, which is so funny. I mean, obviously there's probably not the same kind of filters and whatnot on the inside, but it is generating steam. It's clean steam. It's just water. So it would be the same as kind of popping your head over a bowl of hot water, not boiling water, but very hot water, and steaming. And I don't know if you know, but when you drink water, and also you want to be drinking at least 1,500 mils of water, and it depends on your activity levels as well, but that's kind of a good starting point. You hydrate your body, and ideally you just keep it hydrated so that your vocal folds have a lot of lubrication. But sometimes it takes a while for the vocal folds to hydrate from your internal applications, because the water can't go onto the vocal folds. It's not designed to. It's designed to just go straight into your esophagus, into your belly. So topical application of hydration is steaming. So, drinking water. What else have I said? The other one that I quite like doing, of course, is having keeping some exercise. So try to be active for 10 minutes a day, or on my little Fitbit, which I'm not even wearing, so I haven't really counted. I'm charging it at the moment, but about between 5,000 and 10,000 steps a day. So this week's challenge is just 5,000. So we're starting off nice and slowly. Vocal journal really is a really cool idea to keep a vocal journal. When you're a professional singer, what you'll find is you see patterns. One of the patterns that I started seeing is that, come a Monday, I would be really tired physically after a weekend of gigging, and I would see this, and I would, try and book sessions on a Monday, and I'd be like, why am I trying to do this? I'm always tired on a Monday. So after a while, I learned from journaling that, I book a session after, or on a Tuesday, or if I'm not gigging on the weekend, then it's cool for a Monday. So you just sort of learn these things, and if there are any problems with your voice, you can pick these up and address them really quickly. Now I'm just going to read what Jamie's just put here. Yeah, right. Okay, so Jamie also works in retail, and he likes to talk just like me. So I guess, do you actually warm your voice up before you start talking? Like, do you do a warm up every day before you kick off your day? I'll let you answer that in your own time. And if you don't, I mean, would you consider doing a vocal warm up in the morning? And how do you what's your kind of vocal warm up? Because I know that there are some singing teachers here in Auckland that are huge supporters of what they call laryngeal biomechanics, and the focus is to stretch your entire body to warm up and not necessarily vocalize specifically to warm up your vocal folds. And I just think you have to do what works for you. There's no wrongs unless it hurts. I mean, hurting and not being able to perform or have control over what you're doing, especially sustainability. If you're doing stuff and losing your voice straight away, then you probably need to review your approach to the singing, right? But sorry guys. So yeah, some of the things that we're going to be looking at next week. Oh, well, I'll finish talking about my singer schedule, the ideal singer schedule. I shouldn't say mine, because it's not even 80-20. I get it right at best 50-50, or when I say right, I get it the way I want it to be. I'm going to just look at what Jamie's saying. Awesome. See, that's so great. This is awesome. So Jamie's saying, yeah, he does it in the shower as well, which is great. I reckon that's the best place to do it, because it's like we don't have a lot of time, right? So we've got, ideally you need to multitask. So you do a bit of a warm up in the shower, or that's your steam for the day. If you let it run for a few minutes longer and heat the room up and breathe the steam in, and then you warm up on the way to work or dropping the kids off at school. And I mean, that's really good. I really think that that's awesome. And I'm super keen to actually look into taking Big Notes Get Votes as a kind of a coaching program into some of the corporates that are out there to discuss voice health with call centers, and because we sort of take it there. Yeah, exactly. Speaking, it's very important, because someone speaks to you all day. You need to speak quietly, both in person and on the phone. So you're really working the range of your voice. You have to warm it up. And even though singing and speaking are different, they still use the same muscles and coordination. It's just a slightly different kind of energized or breath placement and support. But that's not to say that you can't utilize great singing technique and apply it to your speaking. Yeah, exactly. I'm really stoked, Jamie. That's so cool to hear that you do that. And I mean, see, Jamie's super professional. I had no doubts that he wasn't doing any of this stuff anyway, but it's just cool. Like I said, we don't ever get to talk about this stuff. And whenever we've done gigs together, we're usually cackling, drinking wine and laughing or something like that. So, or working through the set list or something. So you don't get time to hang and I don't know if it's boring to talk about singing. Do you ever feel like, I feel like I'm so passionate about singing these days that a million years ago when I used to sing jazz in Wellington, I'd get with it. We'd all, be at the end of the night or on a set break, and the jazz musicians would be talking about the chords that they'd played and, I guess the dexterity to a degree. And I would just be like glazing over. But I guess that's now what I'm like. But in relation to singing, I tend to maybe not talk about the ins and outs of what I've sung in the night, but certainly how-tos. I'm just every time I look here, I'm looking to my little handout. I should show you. This is I've got this up on the website, on the Facebook page. It's my little challenge. And so You know, this week I'm talking about, or starting tomorrow, stretching from head to toe is what I'm going to be implementing daily. And yeah, ideally I would just spend the whole day focusing on my voice, but you know, that's not real life. I'd like to make it real life. And what that would mean to me would be, you know, getting sleep, waking up, warming up, hydrating, ideally straight away, because, you know, if you think about it, you've been asleep all night, and or at least 7 hours without taking any liquid. And so getting straight into drinking some water. Usually, as soon as I open my computer up and I come checking emails or whatever, I'll be steaming. So I do most of these things, which is quite good. Stretching and meditating for, you know, breaking the day up, or what my productivity manager calls a channel change. But I also use meditation. I just have an app on my phone before I go to gig, or if I'm having a particularly full-on day, like when I'm touring or something, which I haven't done. My band are actually away in Europe at the moment touring without me. But it's a bit of a busy year this year for me at home, so I can't really jet away for 4 weeks right now. But yes, usually when I'm touring, I'll do some meditation, and it's great too as well in the car, because you tend to just be like driving from one gig to the next and then straight to the sound check, and then you have maybe an hour to eat something and quickly throw your face on, and then off you go to the gig. And so you sort of need to just relax and take a minute. Do you meditate, Jamie, or do any guided meditation or anything like that? Because I mean, you're so busy that how do you change the channel and kind of focus or relax or de-stress? I'd be interested to find that out. Also stretching. Do you do stretching, like your entire body, or tongue or face stretches? There's like there's a couple of goodies, like just that kind of thing, and then opening up the mouth. Also, I quite like to, this is a natural thing that I picked up, to help decongest, to not, we really want to avoid any kind of numbing lozenges. And so there's a vocal coach called Karen O'Connor, out of the UK, and she has a website called singwise.com. Just the most scientific website, but I mean, it's so clear, and it's just pages. There's no pictures, it's just pages and pages of information. I'm into that kind of thing. And one of the things she talks about is having, Fisherman's Friends is a really natural way. They're extra strong, guys, for cleansing your nasal cavities. I've always got those with me. And I guess, the singing schedule would involve all those other things that we talked about, exercising, and then the stuff that's coming on in the week, and obviously journaling your vocals, which I tend to do at night or in the afternoon, if I remember. And you can do it digitally, or you can do it in a book, which mine is kind of like this. And I just write all sorts in it. When I'm feeling particularly organised, I'll just be like that. So it's pretty quick, and I would say things like, my voice is feeling good. I need to work on my R vowels, some staccato E exercises, and singing through my warm-ups exercises in my lightest registration, because I'm trying to develop that end of my singing voice. So it'll be a plan for my voice. What else? Oh yeah, some planning is good. So whether you're promoting, online, like I love this Big Notes Get Votes community. So I try to put a bit of time into nurturing my own community. And and just planning for my voice long term, what I'm going to do. I like to take a bit of Manuka honey, straighten the gob, usually to ward off the bugs and to also soothe my throat. So, I mean, that in an ideal day is pretty much what I would like my day to look like. Focused on singing, learning songs, you know, without being under the hammer, writing music, and also keeping inspired. So I also have a listening and inspiration playlist that I add songs to and listen to. So keep kind of motivated to sing, because when it is your job, you know, you really need to refill that cup. I'm just going to read what Jamie's saying. No meditation. He sleeps like a log. Face stretches before a performance and what? Ruing, what is that? Oh, during. And during, if there's a particularly demanding song and you prep as you go, also have the luxury of writing the set list. Yes. Place the other singer's songs strategically around mine. The power. But that's good. I mean, that's just smart, because you know, it's hard to crafting a set list as an art form, a good set list, because not only are you thinking about your voice, right, you're thinking about the audience and taking them on a journey and taking them in certain places. So it's a hard balance. So you're doing well. You are doing really well. Now, I usually talk for about 30, 45 minutes. So I am going to wrap it up, but I'm just going to finish things off with firstly, Jamie, do you have any questions or anything that you want to share about your singer schedule, or maybe a topic that we can talk about in the future, or any questions or anything? I guess so. I just want to know what everybody's routines are, what an ideal singer schedule is for everybody out there. So pop questions, the replay, as I mentioned, will send the questions and the comments directly to my email so that I can see it if you are watching this in a replay way. You know, jump on the Big Notes Get Votes Facebook page. I know, Jamie, you're already on there. BigNotesGetVotes.com. You can sign up for the weekly newsletter, weekly tip, which is kind of more like a monthly tip at the moment, because I've been a bit useless. And the same with the blog. I would love to know if you're doing the challenge and how it's all going. It's making me feel really good just to take a bit of time to, you know, focus. And I will actually share with and talk about in this week's blog what we've talked about here, and the ideal kind of singer's schedule that works in conjunction with the September Singers Challenge. Oh yes, and yes, please, let's make a chat time. Let's do it. Let's schedule a topic on either a blog or like a web chat about your experience with meds. That would be so cool. Maybe we can chat offline, and I'll share this link with you, and I should probably share it with everybody. I'll share it on the Facebook page, and yeah, let me know a bit more, because I know that a couple of my students actually suffer from asthma, and it would be quite interesting to hear their experiences, if they notice anything. I mean, straight away, the first thing, and I'm not asthmatic, but straight away, just from observing, you know, you are spraying something straight into your mouth. So if it's dehydrating or meant to be drying anything out, you know, you're going to be dealing with that first. I remember a doctor telling me years ago, actually, I used to be a personal trainer as well too, a million years ago. And one of the things that I used to tell my clients, a doctor mentioned to me, is that hydrating is super important for asthmatics. So keeping your hydration levels up is amazingly important. So I can imagine just from that perspective alone, the meds would affect you. But there must be other things that are in these medications that you're taking and that other people are taking. And not even for asthma, all sorts of stuff, and both with natural remedies that we need to be aware of and need to maybe talk about a bit more and share our experiences, because this is the kind of stuff that probably isn't being written about so much, or is not maybe accessible. I don't know. What do you think, Jamie? Are you able to find lots of information about this? I mean, was this on your radar before you had problems with the with your meds, or was it sort of just brought to your attention? I'm waiting for Jamie to type those answers in. And also, if you have any thoughts on what I just said, agree, disagree, ain't no doctor. And it's good to have. I like to be proved wrong sometimes, you know. I like to learn. It's a tricky and it's a scary place to be in, but you just don't learn anything if you keep only explore one option in your mind and aren't open to other options and other ideas. So I'm going to write down while Jamie's doing this. Let me just see if I can find, while you're writing there, I'm going to see if I can find this. I'm going to log into my Sing Smarter Starter course. And it's kind of in its live round now, in its second week. We have our chats on Wednesdays, actually, Wednesday nights, just the members. I'm going to show you. Just bear with me a second while I pull it up. This link. I hope the quality of this video has been good. Sometimes it's a bit slow and sluggish, but it comes right. Okay, I'm going to share this with you. Screen share. Here we go. So hopefully you can see my screen right now. This is this is my course, what it looks like when you jump into the actual content pages. There's some videos that we talk through. And here is the links. Let's see where that takes us. So I think it's the National Centre for, it is the National Centre for Voice and Speech. And this little link here, I'll copy it and I'll post it up onto the Facebook page. But here you can see, you can basically check your meds and find out if they affect your voice. So it's all meds. And it just goes through all of them. And if I'm right, herbal ones, yeah. So you can actually search by all the herbs and see what they do for you as well. Now this one's an interesting one. Yeah. Well, that's no help, is it? Let's see if it's got anything here. Ah, there we go. So it's not extremely in depth, but it can kind of give you an insight into what happens when you take a particular med. So I'll share this. I'll share that with you. Let me take this away. Okay. Oh, there is a delay on the feed, Stink Buzz, bro. Let's change. Bad Boys 2 years. No answers from the professionals. You had to research yourself. Wow, that's really interesting. I'm sorry there's a bit of a delay on the feed. You haven't got two windows up, because that's what my student last week had. She had the Google Hangout window up, and she also had the Webinar Jam window up, and there's about a 30-second delay. It's the weirdest thing. But anywho, thank you for joining me, Jamie, and thank you for all your notes. I'm going to go back and just take notes on everything that you've said. And of course, we can watch this back in the replay. But also I will share that link on Occasions for Your Voice. 3 minutes. Oh my gosh. Have you got to have you got 2 windows open, the webinar and the Google Hangouts? One. I'm interested. Well, I hope I'll watch it back and have a look at it, and I'll post the link to this chat. But yeah, thanks, Jamie. Thank you so much for your time and for all your thoughts. I can't wait to talk more with you about this and get some just your personal experience a little bit more in detail when you're not having to type like 10 words at a time. And thank you to everyone else who's watching this as well. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know about that. So yeah, thank you, Jamie. Thank you. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody now. And unless you've got a question you want to chuck in real quick. But yes, same time next Monday night. You can register to be auto signed up for all of them, and I really hope to see you again soon. I know we can't all make every single one of them, but I'm just addicted to talking to everyone about singing, so I wanted to make myself available and commit to it every Monday night at 8 o'clock. And yeah, come and see me on the Facebook page or bignotesgetvotes.com and sign up to the newsletter as well. Much love, happy singing, and I will see you next Monday, if not before. Thanks. Bye.